Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about in this section is the dynamics engine here in Cinema 4D. Now, this is not specifically tied to Mograph, but you can use it with Mograph. It's a separate module on its own. But that's how you get very realistic looking animations like we have here with the ball rolling down the alley. It's set up through the dynamics engine. You set certain parameters in motion and then just sort of let it go and it does its own thing. And we'll just set up a simple scene, a sphere. Pull that up here. I'm going to put a cube in the scene, scale that down. Go to Mograph, put a cloner in the scene, and I'm going to put the cube under the cloner. Change the mode on the cloner to grid array. And then I'm going to put a plane in the scene, scale that up, and pull it down. So basically my idea here is I want the ball to fall into the cubes and scatter these cubes all over the place as it falls through, and everything lands on the plane down here in a very realistic way. So for the plane, I want to choose rigid body. And for the dynamics on rigid body, I want to turn this to off because I don't want this to move. For the sphere, we'll do the same thing, come down to simulation tags, choose rigid body. For this one, we do want it to move, so we have dynamics on. Now I can control or command and drag this over to the cloner, and we have dynamics on. And for the trigger, we want it to be on collision. So this isn't actually going to do anything until it collides with this ball. Another thing that we need to change over here is the inherit tag. Apply to children because the children would be the cloners here. And individual elements, click on all. And that's basically it. So let's see what we get. Let's play this forward. And there you go. Pretty simple, realistic dynamics. We could make this longer so we can get a better idea what's happening. And see, as these things fall off, they just fall down once they get past this plane. Now we could go ahead and make changes to these tags. So if we came over to the sphere and we started looking at how much bounce we have, we could take the bounce up to 100%. We could adjust the bounce of the cubes. So let's see what happens if we change that to 100%. Let's go back. Now you can see they've got quite a bit more bounce. We could adjust the friction, how much they're going to stick when they fall. So you have a lot of control here. Let's go over to the sphere and let's look at the mass. Right now we're using world density. We could use a custom density, and let's just move this up to something like that. So now it should be much heavier. You can see how it falls straight through there. So there are a lot of things that you can do with this. It's very powerful and actually very easy to use. I've used other dynamics engines in other 3D packages, and they're much more complex to set up. So this is a lot of fun. Play around with it, and I'll see you in the next lesson.